Oh my goodness. Look alive, people, look alive. It's the end of the world. I'm going to show you how to have fun on the way up. Yeah, grab your buckets. I am a spider, and the world is my web, and all those around me are flies. Some I dine upon, some I despise, and some I roll up and save for surprise.
Never thought that you would ever love me. I only want to be the man you want me to be. 'Cause I'll never kiss another. I'll never hold another. I'll never love another the way I love you. I know that there are plenty.
Come on, come on, let's have a ball.
My greatest moment is when you caught me. 'Cause I'll never kiss another. I'll never hold another. I'll never love another the way I love you. I'll never kiss another. I'll never hold another. I'll never love another the way I love you. Way I love you.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful song. That is called My Greatest Moment. It is free to listen to on Reverb Nation on my album Prospect Studios compilation CD. It's called Black Cherry Jam, Spreading the Black Cherry Jam. Prospect Studios presents Spreading the Black Cherry Jam. It's a lovely album. It's a promotional effort, and these people on this album are selected winners. I will put another song in the background as background music. This is called Reflections, and it's a nice ambience. I have an ambient blues album. It's called the Ambient Blues, Prospect Studios Ambient Blues. Yeah. I'm not trying to sell it to you, though. I'm doing the anti-sale. I don't want to sell you my stuff. I want the big guy to buy it. I'm giving it to the people. I'm selling it to the capitalist that wants to make the money. You see, I'm taking over what they did with the Grateful Dead. Okay, the Grateful Dead became infamous because they gave it to the people. They gifted it. They shared. Make America great again. Yeah, make America great again for good. Yeah, we're going to expose all kinds of secrets. Anyway, I have some notes. I actually made some notes. Turn this down. We're going to have a heart-to-heart tonight. I'm not going to play a bunch of music. I want to, my focus isn't here to entertain you. My hope is that I have got your attention and that you are willing to listen to some of the things that I have to say, to share with people. People don't like it when I'm very serious. They don't want to hear my lectures. They don't want me to teach them. Everybody knows everything already. And I know everybody who's trying to work with other people understands that. Everyone is obstinate around you. And I have a challenge. I do. I'm going to put this on 20. My challenge is for you to look at your closest relationships, examine your activity with them, okay? Pretend you're a spy trying to understand. Pretend you're trying to solve a crime. You're Sherlock Holmes, okay? You're Sherlock Holmes and you're going to solve a mystery. I want you to look at the person next to you, whoever's closest to you, your closest friend. Study them, examine them, look for the things in them that are in you, okay? That whole thing, we're going to take that whole, we see they say we see things in others that we see in ourselves. So we're going to usurp that understanding to dive into the riddle that has confused all of the nation. Yes, and I've figured it out. Thank you. I see a Guy Incognito out there. I think it was Guy Incognito. Anyway, the challenge is, okay, remember all the shows or the cartoons where it was that the subject was about, they were talking about hypnotism. You know, like kind of like that Jimmy Stewart movie, High Anxiety, with the swirling thing, and it's hypnotic, and it throws off your senses and things. Yes, it's all about disturbing your peace of mind, interfering. You know, like let's say you were trying to make love with your wife, and you can't do it while the phone's ringing. Okay, that's a disruption. And that phone ringing is an actual person planted in a group of people with ideas that they offer through the things that they say. Like a man in a crowd talking freely about a oriental massage parlor. Now everyone, through that power of suggestion, is all thinking about the joys of Polynesian massage or oriental massage, you know, which is nothing new. What that is lovemaking and relationship qualities that weren't destroyed by capitalistic ventures of the governing bodies. Okay? What part of that doesn't make sense? Somebody please offer me some input so I know what sentences to finish and what sentences not to. I am a bit of a mind reader and I do have ESP. I am a psychic in a lot of ways. I know things about people all the time. Things that they would rather I not know. I have a very keen understanding of my surroundings. I'm very in tune with my empathic abilities. I would love to talk to Chip Coffee. I do have communications with dead people. All that. Absolutely. I don't talk about it because people think I'm crazy. People think I'm crazy anyway, but that's beside the point. I might be a genius, and nobody knows that. I might have something very special that could save the world. Maybe. But nobody's going to know if I don't say something. That secret mushroom that's in the forest that could cure your father's illness, for instance, that only the medicine man in the village knew about. Well, the medicine man in the community has been destroyed. So the knowledge for the people available with the herb, for instance, has been destroyed by somebody who wants to sell you something that they made in place of that so that they could profit. You know, wouldn't it be nice to invent wouldn't it be nice to manufacture something that somebody's already got the goods on? Let's say you own the rights to oranges. Let's say Tropicana, and this is a possibility, Tropicana literally could, maybe purchase the right to the orange tree itself and own that piece of nature. And what capitalists have done is they've packaged and shelved, distributed to be purchased by the consumer. They've packaged nature. And they've made man fear real nature. Okay? these reality shows of the grown man crying on an island for some money when he can't build a fire. No, national TV, worldwide, Chinese are watching, laughing their asses off. Okay, all this technology, this all started years ago. I've been paying very close attention. Yes, I have. FCC part regulation number 15. That's a smoking gun right there in your face. Nobody pays attention. Yeah, because we've been told that, don't worry about balancing your checkbook. It's a big pain in the ass. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to keep me busy all the time, so I'm so busy that change is falling out of my pockets every time I reach my hand in because the people around me aren't helping enough? Yeah, and they're picking up my loose change. This is literally what's going on. This Bitcoin thing, okay? These merchants with the Bitcoin AI technology, they have the ability to basically borrow money from us without us knowing, earn interest, generate interest, do things with it, even take it entirely and never return it. You see, it's a game. It's a game, and nobody can see behind the curtain. Yeah, Zack knows the magician's tricks. Yes, I do. Yes, I know which hand it's in. And the magicians know that I know, because I've been watching them. Yes, and I've been flaunting it in their face very freely. Yeah, like this thing from Nielsen's. Yeah, with the return service on the envelope. Oh, return service requested. Oh, man, Zack loves returning the service, especially on request. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. Now, who in the hell ain't thinking here? Why do I have to be so freaking colorful for everybody, to get everybody's attention? You can't just sit down and listen when the wolf is speaking? Yeah, you look like a couple of dorks. Now finish cleaning the blood up in this car, cover them seats up with some sheets, and stop looking so stupid. Let's get rid of this body. I know how to get rid of bodies. Yes, and I came up with an ingenious plan. Yeah, with my little idea about the church dictation actually being running the country. So my idea is, okay, yeah, apprenticeship. Every builder, shoemaker, cobbler, candlestick, every trade has an apprentice. And therefore, we're going to take all these goody two-shoe sumbitches out of the churches, and we're going to put a shadow on every government worker. Yeah, we're going to put that checks and balances system in effect. Yes, the president's going to have an apprentice. Yeah. Everybody. All these frickin' representatives and these lobbyists and all these people sitting up in the Senate. Everybody's going to get a little fly. Yeah, a little fly on the wall. Oh, AC/DC tribute, fly on the wall tour revisited. And they will come here and perform at my request. Bet you I could work that out. I'm Mad Zack, Prospect Studios, Summit Unlimited. I went to college back in 2009 for this. Yeah, Lansing Community College. Yes. Go to my photos on another page while you listen to me run my trap and look at the interview they did of me. I didn't ask them for it. I didn't pay them for it. They singled me out because I had something to say. Yeah. You remember all them Elvis movies? Where Elvis, very powerful energy. Whether he's playing the guitar or not, just standing in a room. Elvis could be just standing in a room, every movie. And every guy in the room wants to punch him. And I always knew. I was that guy. And I am that guy. And I love it. Yeah, because when the guy comes in and sets a standard and tells them what they should be doing as opposed to what they're getting away with, yeah, put the money back in the till. Go ahead. I would love to retaliate you punching me in the face by making a quick slice. Yes. Yes. See, once you become to know who and what you are, you could be both the yin and the yang. Once you understand what yin and yang is, you see, I could be the most beautiful, potent, life-saving medicine ever, maybe. Never underestimate anything, especially the people you're around. Never underestimate your people. No, I might have a wonder drug, or I might have a wonder evil. Yes. I can be either the most dangerous guy on the block, or I can be the shining star that I am. Yeah. I take care of my shit. Yeah. You know what's important about me taking care of my Harley Davidson and polishing it? When I wash it. Because that's a relationship. Yeah. And how well I care for my bike is exactly how well I care for you. And you think about that while I try and get in a different frame of mind. I'm starting to think about the fucking neighbors around here. Yes. And I'm the kind of guy who could take 5 or 6 of them at once. So if you don't have an articulated plan about grabbing my person leg for leg, arm for arm, with a few boys that ain't scared, that's the only way you're going to take me down. So you just better get up on board, pick up your dog shit when your dog shits, and stop screwing your kids. Yes. I will not tolerate child abuse. No. Or spouse abuse. Or emotional abuse. Or psychological abuse. I will not tolerate abuse. I'm the people's advocate. And I've proven that time and time again just with my becoming. Now, I have some very important things I want to share. Very intimate things. Things that I shouldn't share at all. But because of the value of what can be taken from it, I'm forced to give that much of myself. Yeah, I can let you know what my green kryptonite is. Yeah, I'm going to let you know what my green kryptonite is. My most cherished personal secret ever. And I'll even tell you the secret about me losing my virginity. The real losing my virginity story. Not my first kiss, like the blog thing. That my first kiss thing was all about when I first found alcohol. See, losing my virginity. Yeah, all these big tough guys, you know. In short, I'll just let you know, without telling the story, after I lost my virginity, I cried. Yeah, I cried. Not happy crying either. All right, let's get down to fiddle and get down to bow. I want to start right off with the marijuana thing. I want everybody to get an understanding with the marijuana thing. Gwen Williams, it's so wonderful to see you, Gwen. Merry Christmas to you, happy holidays, or whatever kind of fucking nomenclature you want. I don't have time for being really super nice. I'm pissed off at the world. So the world needs to start listening, and men need to start acting like me, because I ain't never acting like them. No, there's no compromise. Okay, let's start right off with the pot thing. Okay, pot federally is illegal. Okay. Now let's get back to the stateshood thing, okay? You're going to love this, Gwen. Fairfield County Municipal Court right here declares me a statesman. This is my certificate right here, this very document commanding me to appear before court on behalf of the state of Ohio, okay? There's clarity there that you should be able to easily identify, even if you're stone blue. Yeah, if you had half a brain before you got high. The problem we have today is because of the level of education people have, they are not able to maturely handle the use of intoxicants. End story there. Now, as a statesman on behalf of the state, if I go to this trial and I try to offer any kind of support, any kind of motion, gesture, comment that supports that person other than a genuine humanity-style society sense of community support, okay? If I identify myself as anything but that, that makes me an enemy of the state, okay? I've identified myself as an enemy of the state by choosing to jump parties, okay? This is politics. It's very serious. This is very serious. Everybody has to understand it and quit throwing this politics away. That was a planted thought in your minds too, to abandon the idea of thinking about politics because of the what's the word they love to use? Sophistication. Yeah, sophistication. Yeah, that's when the guy has real dirty secrets about how he spray paints the marijuana as he's drying it to add weight to it and things like that, or lacing it with fentanyl, or lacing it with meth. Liquid form as it's drying to add weight and potency to really shitty weed because nobody knows how to grow. Everybody better listen. I'm the professor here. I don't talk about stuff I don't know. Yes. like the tattoo Gwen might have just above her left butt cheek. Yeah, I only saw that in a dream. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I'm a statesman. Identifying with the plaintiff, with the defendant, makes me an enemy of the state. Now, marijuana. Marijuana is illegal federally. So anyone, in the eyes of the federal government, who identifies themselves as siding with anything to do with the illegal practice of being involved in the marijuana industry, whether consumption or distribution or agriculturally, you're recognized in the federal government's eyes as an enemy of the federal government, you see. So, with those understandings, can anybody see how the divisions between the political parties have done so much muckraking that while they've been creating the other divisions, like with the BLM thing, and stuff like that. And what BLM needs to understand is, for every one black guy that says a cop beat him up, there's 10 of us white guys that had an altercation with some hostile, aggressive person of color that we never reported, that we let roll off. Yeah, like the black guys all sitting on a porch drinking, and I only accentuate I rarely accentuate anybody's color or ethnicity. Okay, rarely do I use, is that a concern of mine? Okay, first of all, but these guys were all sitting on the porch drinking beer, and I come through with my truck, and to them it looked like I had a lot of money, so they threw their beer bottles off of the porch into the road to vandalize my vehicle, hopefully break me down, and then overtake me on the street there and loot me. Okay? I didn't call the police. I didn't start gossiping about it. I took it like a man and understood them like a parent, like a peer, like a pillar in the community, like a true statesman who has skills of diplomacy. Yes, diplomacy, absolutely. And I think I've been just displaying that very articulately. Absolutely. So now that we got past the marijuana understanding, please get your turkey quill pens, a couple of bottles of that prison tattoo ink they use for the respect, the World Trade Center burning and the block work and a prison number on it. Get some of that ink, turkey quill pen, a legal pad. Write some of these very or save the video, please. I know Gwen's way ahead. She saves all of my videos. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, let's get back to my notes. I'm taking this very seriously. Hopefully somebody out there sees that. I've got a year invested into becoming and sharing all my dirty secrets right before your very eyes. Yeah, being the change, making the example, setting the example for other people to have offered to them. I should have a very, 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 very well-paid job at the National Alliance of Mentally Ill. Where are my people to sell me to someplace so that I can benefit them for helping me get placed someplace important where I can be instrumental to help people? I'm not here trying to get you to buy my songs. Gwen's been following me for a while. I don't think I've ever sent her to, hey, go check out the song. Let's get a download. By my, like Tom McDonald. Tom McDonald is pushing his merch and pushing his albums because he's trying to make a living out of it. And with the payola scandal that's been reformed, you see, payola never disappeared. It's kind of like that racism thing. Yeah, never disappeared. Just took on different forms. And it's all about money. The name calling starts when people don't get what they want. You didn't buy my stuff. You're nothing but a dirty white boy. People get hurt feelings when you turn them down. People don't have any tact. Gwen, it's all about rejection. No one likes to be rejected. Especially when they put an earnest effort, a genuine, selfless effort at subjecting themselves to the possibility of being rejected. By offering a comment, which goes back to the importance of keeping your journal. When Gwen and I talk, and if we had a relationship and we're talking every day, I would be making journal notes about it, about how maybe I'll have to pay attention to Gwen. Maybe she felt upset because I didn't eat the cookies she made or something like that. And that's where all these beautiful songs come from that people write that mean so much to everybody. Like Jim Croce, Time in a Bottle. Jim Croce didn't sit down and write Time in a Bottle because he had record label telling him he had to have 13 songs on an album. That was truth coming out of his heart and soul. I'm not sitting down. First of all, I'm not trying to impress anybody with my musical talents or abilities or my greatness as a songwriter, anything like that, or my, professing myself as a great writer. I must be a great writer. Nobody will fucking talk to me. Everybody's scared. I don't understand it, Gwen. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, enough of that. So let's move on. Yeah, I got lots of notes. So, family. Boys, let's see if I can figure out. Okay, yeah, back to the pop thing. Fired over. Oh, yeah. Yes. So the government's been so the states that have chosen the marijuana. There's a big fight now between the states and the federal. Yeah. So now basically, kind of seceding in ways, with the marijuana laws and exploiting the marijuana consumers. You see, the marijuana consumers are being exploited and it's being shoved down their throats, just like in the Bible. When God said, says something about, if that's what you choose that instead of me, I'll give you so much of it you'll choke on it. Think about that when you can't get enough to drink, you can't get enough to smoke, and you can't get enough to eat. You got to have that fucking biggie-sized fry. Okay? And the other thing is, you're not throwing yourself at the feet of a man. The sooner everybody gets that understanding, we can get away from all the sexism and things. Rose Medina is just reverse sexism on Rose Medina. She won't subject herself to having an intelligent conversation with Mad Zack, although professing to have an American Conversation podcast show. And I don't troll her. I don't call the show or nothing like that. And I only listened to a snippet of it, and I was pretty sickened because I didn't hear any real cerebral qualities coming out of any of them. Just a bunch of people that might have went to school and studied for something and got a piece of paper, but their heart wasn't on it. They just learned enough to justify their own assertion of beliefs. You see, I could easily justify killing people. Easily. I can rationalize robbing you blind. I can minimize it, justify it, self-import myself, give myself a certain amount of entitlement, like I'm a king or queen. Yeah. Keep in mind, you are a king, but a humble. Yeah. A good king has humility. Yeah. I don't see any humility being sold or offered to any of these groups that are protesting. Expressing oneself regardless of how you do it. This freedom of expression is being abused. Me expressing myself isn't running down the street with blaring some bullshit R. Kelly track or some crap about some other idiot that's dead, spouting off like he's some kind of prophet to the inner city, leading them further into the degradation and the disease. Yes, you are king. And as a king, you don't deserve to sit in a pile of trash. Yes. And if you don't have any self-respect, you're not going to care for yourself enough for good people to want to care about you. I'm not about to go down to the homeless shelter and start caring for people who would rather live at the homeless shelter so they can have money for dope. No, I'm not wasting my time with stupidity. I'm focusing on the bigger thing. I'm not going to get lost in the little tiny arguments on the way to the popcorn stand. That's for the fools, and everybody's bought it. In the meantime, the guys with the power are getting more power, getting out of control. Yeah, and they're making you corporation and stuffing all the responsibilities and the blame for the ozone layer, for instance. They're giving it to you and me. Yeah. Instead of, 5 guys to make a cup of coffee at Starbucks, four girls and a boy, and you got to wait 20 minutes? Oh, Starbucks, I got a nasty thing. I could smear you real bad. Oh, yeah, I had a real bad experience. At my favorite store, Kroger, where I've had 3 bad experiences. Consumer fraud. Yes, consumer manipulation. Yeah, taking bacon that's $13 for a clump of it, Gwen. That big, thick cut bacon. Yeah, they had big, thick cut bacon. Well, nobody buys $12 bacon. Nobody can afford that. So they took a bunch of it that they weren't being able to move because people weren't buying it, and they put it in the cooler where they normally have the get rid of fast items. And they had it in a spot with a sign, but it was in the light. So all the lights are shining and there's a glare and you can't read the sign, but you can read it just enough to see 647. So then you grab it, of course, because you're also in a hurry. Yeah, we don't have time afforded to us to read all the labels, but we do have an idea what's good and what's bad. So anyway, I get to the register, I ring the bacon up, it rings up for the almost $14. So I says, you go back there and you tell me how much that sign says on the bacon. He comes back, he says something, $14. I says, God damn it. I had to walk with him. I walk him back to the cooler, I says, right there. I got all the pictures. And then they got me with the batteries. Yeah, double batteries. I think I saved a package here somewhere. I hope I did. But they got this 2-pack of batteries, 9-volt batteries. Well, everyone, here's the scandal. Everyone needs the 9-volt battery for their smoke detectors, for their CO2 detectors, for their radon detectors, for their, all those devices. You got to have that 9-volt battery. All of a sudden, a 9-volt battery is almost $10. And it is $10, $12 in some places just for one. Yes, so they have 2 packages. Kroger's real crafty. Oh, they think they're crafty, but I'm on them. Yes, I've been abused all my life. Yes, I'm that guy. Yeah, James Bond, all that shit. I'm that guy. I've already killed you 6 different ways. I'm just waiting for you to offend me enough for me to make it have to be a warranted need. Yes. Yeah, I hate playing dumb, especially for extended periods of time. I don't know if I can work undercover for very much longer. No. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Oh, so many things. I know. Some people out there think they're smarter than me right now. Yeah. Listen to Mad Zack spilling all his secrets. I love feeding the gossip mongers. I do. It's one of my favorite things. Because I'm very generous. I don't want to see any troll gets left into starvation. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you don't want to be an enemy of the state. You don't want to be an enemy of the federal government. Let's go back to marijuana should be used discreetly, not out in public. And entertaining. Children become what? Children become a product of what is in their environment. If they're in an environment with child molestation and violence and physical abuse and alcoholism and drug addiction, where are you with the machete to carve a new path in the forest? I'm giving you pearls. Giving them. Yes. I don't want anything. Okay, back to the dirty deeds of the states. DNR. DNR's been pretty much disassembled, and I think I know why. The DNR knows all the dirty secrets of the corporations, Gwen. Yeah. Hey, Gwen, I know you're small money just like me. Yeah, we're little people. I had put in a request too. I want everybody to know, all the smart people. I want everybody to seek some comfort in knowing that Johnson & Johnson is working on a special salve. Yes, a special salve. That terrible pickling of our ankles from standing in the shallow end of the pond all the time. Always picking the leeches off, stuff like that. Yes, they're coming out with a special salve so that we'll be able to protect our ankles and be able to endure the torture, torment of the environment we're steeped in. Yes, thank Johnson & Johnson. Better be getting some support out of you, Johnson & Johnson. Oh my goodness, Mad Zack, full of surprises, isn't he? Yeah, so what else? Oh yeah, the DNR. So, when you want to buy a piece of land, one of the best things to do, especially right now, go to the DNR and get a parcel magazine, get a parcel book from the Department of Natural Resources in your area or in your state, the county you want to be in, whatever, and they have all the property listed that's for sale. Some of it's what they call landlocked. And what that means is it's a piece of property, yes, but people around you own the property. So you have to somehow get permission. You got to wear out a few knees or your blue jeans in order to get access to your property. Unless you just do a commando like I do. There's no such thing as a fence for a mushroom hunter. Is there, Gwen? Anyway, DNR. See, disassembling the DNR is very convenient because me as a corporation, all those toxic chemicals that I had that I needed to get rid of, you see what I did was when nobody was looking, I went to these pieces of property that they weren't selling. Yeah, that was sitting there nobody wanted, and I dug a big hole and I put all my stuff in it. Yeah. And of course I had to say something sooner or later when I got caught. So a few of these spots are known. Yeah, and they're marked on that DNR map. So when you look at a parcel, you can find out if there's any toxic chemicals buried there. Yeah, we're gonna have Gwen. I swear to God, this between gunsmithing as a trade in the future and and waste management. Those are the trades. Okay, the Space Force's waste management service. That's all it is. It's garbage man for space. Yes, yes, it's exactly what it is. So, anyway, what's going to happen is all of our children and elderly, everybody's going to be digging in the dirt. We're going to be scouring these landfills. Okay, for all this time, 246 years, we've been throwing all of our trash in a pile on a silt pan. Yeah, all the compost is supposed to go back into the earth to generate more soil needs, nutrients in the soil for agricultural use. Yeah, we've been piling it up in little trash piles instead of putting it in the dirt where it belongs. Yeah, with blunt wrappers and Hennessy caps and broken liquor bottles and Boone's Farm bottles. Yeah, all that recyclable stuff. Huge piles of it. Yeah, it's so valuable. Right now, China decided to buy all our trash. Yeah, pretty soon, China's going to be living here because they have rights to process and handle it. Is anybody awake out there? Yeah, just like the boats they have offshore the West Coast, where they're buying our wood, where we can't cut anymore, taking our lumber, our trees, and going offshore to their boat, running their sawmill on the boat, and then selling us the wood. Yeah, you know why? Because all the chiselers. Oh, man, Zack likes to throw words around too, derogatives. I'm going after the beast. And you know what one of the beast's secret words are that they hate, Gwen? It's chiseler. All the way back to the Bible. Yeah, all you religious supremacists. Yeah, that thought you got away with it all these hundreds and 1,000 years. Knights of the Templar and all that. Yeah, you thought you killed all the knights, didn't you? Well, you can't kill their spirit. You can't kill their soul. You can't kill that energy. Oh, Mad Zack found the secret garden. Yeah. Where do you think all this comes from? I'm all these people. Robin Williams, John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, all these people. Andy Rooney. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Eddie Van Halen even. Yeah. No, I'm not a guitarist. But what I do with my music is spontaneous. Yeah, just like those old movies that were so famous and made so many millions and millions and billions of dollars, the musicals. I'm a living musical. Just like in the movies. I get up in the morning singing and dancing, just like in the movie. That's my real life. I don't dress like this and do this silly stuff, on this show. This isn't me pretending to be something. I'm not acting. I'm acting. Yeah, I'm acting, but it's not an act. It's all reality. These aren't characters or anything I studied and practiced for. This is me. I'm a beautiful diamond in the sky, multifaceted, very irregular. I'm the epitome of irregular. That's right. Setting a new standard that everybody has to live up to. It's just like the limbo. How low can you go? Yes, I'm challenging every man. Yeah, I know what women want. I do. I know how they like to be kissed. Oh, let me prove that. Let me prove how I know what women want. Oh, women are so frustrated with those little boys. Don't know how to do their job. Oh, and they don't want to get any on them. Yeah, and sometimes they don't like licorice, and they eat it like this. Or regardless, I ain't a woman out there been with a guy that didn't just want to say, just stop. Just, whatever it is you're doing down there, just stop. Yeah. See, you have to, it's about finesse. Life's about finesse and tact and diplomacy. Yeah, you got to know when to light a fire. You got to know when to put it out. You got to know when to build a house. You got to know when to catch a trout. You got to know when to look behind you. You got to know when to grab a hand. You got to know when to say, enough's enough. And you got to know when to take a stand. I'm getting goosebumps. You got to know when to look behind you. You got to know which way the wind blows. You got to know the whistles of the birds around. And them three sounds of them old crows. You got to know how to track a deer. You got to know how to make that wine. And you got to know how to work the dirt, or your life will never be fine. God isn't a man in the sky behind on a throne. That's an image created by the dictatorship within the religion. I'm going to usurp control of the religious institutions and dictate to them. Yeah. Yes. It's a dictatorship. They're dictating the people through our government here in America. Biden's a Catholic. The Democratic Party and the Catholics, I think, are together. Nothing against Catholics. Nothing against the idea of Catholicism. Oh, yeah, we're going to focus on that in my church. Yes. See, but the concept, the understanding, it's about showing appreciation, giving thanks, and being grateful. You're not serving a man. You're not submitting yourself to appease the man. No, you're just simply cherishing the resources. You know, the water itself is God. Yeah, and it's not a man, and it's not a woman. You know, it's part of the earth. The earth is an organism, like the Great Barrier Reef. Everything is alive. The planet is an actual living thing. And there's a balance. The moon itself is a harmony balance, regulates the ocean's tides and the currents, and animals breeding and mating, and when flowers open. Marijuana doesn't start budding until it hits 12 hours. Yeah, and if you're growing some stuff from out west, or some Thai stick or Jamaican, it don't start budding until 14 hours. Okay? I know all these things, and I've walked all walks of life. That's what makes me the ideal candidate to be a great communicator to the people right now. I don't know why I'm motivating to do all this. It's all stuff that's instinctual, that I'm just following my heart for the past... I've always been following my heart. But for the past year, there's been a chain of events, and there's some things that happened, and then a year ago, I started doing the show. You know, I thought I'm going to give it one... The thing is I took time off from saving the world, which goes to one of my secrets, and I'll share that real quick. You see, and I just watched a movie, and the very last line in the movie of Mel Gibson's What Women Want was how, you know, she said, well, you know, after she said, well, you're fired. And yeah, she fired him over, she fired him out of retaliation over a relationship that was understood was inappropriate in the work environment. And see, that plant in the garden bared a bad fruit with her having hurt feelings, because he was tricking her with his ability to know what she was thinking. But because of his honesty and everything, see, she was firing him, but she was keeping him. She had to fire him because it was inappropriate to have that relationship at work. It was inappropriate. It got in the way of productivity. You see, it's a job. You're not friends when you go to work. And now how can you go to work in a work environment with your wife and not be friends? You know, and that sets a bad example to the rest of the employees under you, your crew. And then that makes you look hypocritical, you see. But see, she fired him over the inappropriateness, but she fired him because she wanted to keep him. Yeah. Anyway, my little puppy Riley's using tools now. Yes, he's very smart. He was using the coffee table as a tool to help him hold his bone so he could chew on his bone. And then when I noticed and I interrupted the activity, he moved, and then he was in there holding on to it with both hands, standing there, chewing on the end of it. Yeah, if March 10th was the day he was born. So anyway, I hope I'm not just making myself look like a complete blithering idiot from frickin' Vesuvius or some shit. I stand out like a sore thumb. Nobody understands a word I say. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to die. So yeah, fired inappropriate, blah 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 blah. See? Oh yeah, that takes me to me. See, I'm a wild animal. I'm cultured and refined, but because of the psychological abuse. See, I have severe PTSD. Lots of little things happen, but one of the significant things that happened was I went to see Jaws when I was very young. When it came out, brand new, I was 4. Yeah, 4, almost 5, or something like that. Anyway, I saw it at the Six Flags over Atlanta, Georgia. My stepfather thought it'd be a good idea to take me there and, genuinely frighten the shit out of me. So he took me and my sister. I don't know how it's impacted my sister because, much like the deviant capitalists in society right now, dividing us with the arguments they're selling us, that everybody's willingly buying. Yeah, every person who calls out a thing about racism, typically that's a psychological revelation. And I don't think I need to make any more remarks to further elaborate. Yes, we see in others what we see in ourselves. And I'll have you know, other than hearing about racism, it's never been a subject in my menu of topics. It's never been an issue. I know all kinds of people from all around the world. Especially Italy. All Latinos are very, very gracious. Very hospitable, very loving, very kind. And you also have to understand, all these places when they sought out and they conquered all these other lands, they sent the clergy. Yeah, they Christianized the Native Americans when they came here. And that was so, all the people that didn't know them could sleep at night, so they weren't scared. They Christianized them so that they had the same beliefs. Yeah, so it goes back to that cheesism thing. Yeah, my cheeses society. Yeah, I don't have to like American cheese. No, it doesn't meet up to my expectations. It doesn't satisfy me. I disapprove of its use. I will never taste it. I will never eat it. That's fine for you, but I don't fucking like it. Okay? Now, if you want to call that, and I call it cheesism. Yeah, it's a spin-off of racism. It's me fighting racism in its face. That's what my cheesism thing is about. All you racists out there that think I'm a racist. I am a racist. Yes, I love my German heritage. That makes me a racist. I love my Irish heritage. That makes me a racist. But it's not racism. It's honoring where you came from. Yeah, all you people in the ghetto, don't forget where you come from. Yeah, well, what that means is that's a greedy little capitalist punk saying when you get some money, bring it home. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, so the DNR, they're trying to get rid of the DNR. They've been whittling away at them, and one of the reasons is because corporate America has got a lot of dirty secrets. They need to be dug up. Quick. Yes. That's a big hotbed of things. I think I've said enough about it. Anyway, yeah, the PTSD, severe depression, severe anxiety, nightmares, profuse sweating, my jaw locks up. But anyway, my sensitivity level is all because the product of the abuse and everything, my teachings, the things I've endured, the experience I've had, life's experience. All of you people out there who have a broken heart, you can't find anybody to talk to about a broken heart because you can't find anybody who's actually done any self-examination. Yeah, because nobody's willing to work on themselves. Oh man, Zack's been working hardcore day and night, round the clock, 3 shifts for the last year right before your eyes. Trying to change the world, changing the future. I'm a disruptor. I'm an irritant in the oyster of life, becoming a big, beautiful black pearl. that too. You are that. But the people around you are telling you what you are. Yeah, that's why your journal is important. Now I'm going to tell you my secret, and maybe it'll make sense. Because of my abuse, because of all the abuse I've had, especially from men, you know, what the men don't understand is I'm a wild animal in the group. Yeah, you're all tame, and I'm wild. So I'm a wild animal that just opened his eyes and realized he ain't in the forest. And there you are. Now what's a wild animal do? Huh? So I'm just as frightened and scared as you are of me. As you know, men generally subconsciously, oh my goodness, Michelle Hartland, I gotta stop talking and say hi from Teignmouth, Devon, England. You have good news. Please continue on with your good news, and I will continue talking. I was revealing my secrets. I was going to tell you what my green kryptonite is. So because of all my abuse and the PTSD and all that stuff, I'm frightened. I'm genuinely frightened. I'm genuinely scared out of my wits all the time. My dad did that to me. Am I angry at the military? The Navy he was in? No. You know, do I try to find blaming the drill sergeants that may have impacted him? No. I blame television. Yes. I can't blame any of the people that support me. You know, I have to be willing to be diplomatic enough to always keep them as suspicious, of course. Always be suspicious. You have won the fight with cancer? Oh my goodness! Merry Christmas, Michelle Hartland. Oh wow, Michelle Hartland won the fight with cancer. That is absolutely the most wonderful news, Michelle. I'm so happy for you. That is truly a very, very powerful blessing. Oh my goodness. So, that means, oh, I don't know. You feel like listening to some music? You want to listen to Mad Zack Just Keep Running His Trap. How about we listen to a special song that's called Make Up Your Mind by Andrea Capozilli, and I think you're going to love it, Michelle. Yeah, all you other people, you got to be like Michelle. It's mind over matter. Yes. I just did this piece. It's called The Fleet. It's in my blog. It's called The Fleet. I might share it with you. But here we go. Make up your mind. You have to make up your mind if you're going to win or lose. Okay? Life's a gamble. Bet on yourself. Always try to improve the pot. But you have to remember, typically the house always wins.
You keep telling me
I'll put a shout out in a big thing and do a blurb about you winning a battle of cancer. Tell me what kind of cancer it was, Michelle.
what you wanna do.
Not that it matters. Cancer's cancer.
Will you stay or go? Well, now make up your mind. Yeah. Before you run out of time. Ooh, now make up your mind. Before you get left behind. I don't wanna keep
Somebody said take it all off. Yeah, Andrea Capozzoli. Andrea Capozzoli, wonderful, wonderful artist. I wish I could talk to her. Anyway, let's see. Let me see if I can pull something else out of my hat here real quick. Oh yeah, back to that thing about me being a wild animal. Yeah, see that's the thing. You know, people with PTSD, especially, deserve a lot of respect. People at all. People need to understand what respect is. And they have to have self-respect first. And self-respect has nothing to do with entitlement or, you know, justification or anything. But basically what it means is, you know, self-respect means, you know, taking initiative, you know, to be something, to be you, to be, you know, being different doesn't mean, you know, seeing how long you can go before you have to cut your fingernails. All these idiots running around with the big nails hanging out. You know, it goes without saying that they're absolutely useless. All they can do is run their trap when their hands are all got freaking 18-foot long fingernails. You can't type with fingernails. You can't work with fingernails. You can't tie your shoes. You can't do laundry. You can't fold. You can't do any work. Okay, doing good works with your hands gives you a sense of pride and importance. And what people in the cities are not being offered is apprenticeships. A butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, a woodworker. They're not being offered those things because corporate America's reinventing the process, eliminating cottage industries, little carpenters and things with their big builders and their new products that are junk, and they're hiring labor through temp services, and, you know, to squeeze all the profit out of the freaking people they can. I've worked construction trades. I've got enough information to bust this whole country wide open. Yes, I do. Yeah, and as soon as some real intelligent person out there rubs the baby powder out of his eyes and sees that, we could do some very, very wonderful things for the people. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, wild animal. So basically, you know, me, you know, back to the journal thing. This all has to do with the journal. This all makes sense if everybody's paying attention. You got to understand, I'll start talking about apples, and 3 days later, we'll get to the apples again. I'll finish it up. Yeah, it comes full circle, which is the whole lesson. I might be I don't know what I am, but if somebody doesn't recognize what I have to offer, then I could be a flash in the pan. It could get lost. Yeah, I'm not here for nothing. I'm supposed to do something, and I'm pretty good at running my trap. and piss people off. So I must be powerful. Yeah. Every guy around me wants to hit me. It's been like that forever. So I must be something very powerful and important. They've been trying to extinguish me since I was born. Yeah. Right now I got 3, 4 guys walking up right on top of me. And I'm not afraid of that. I'm going to call the paramedics for them before I start. Yes. Anyway, men have been misguided, and I'm here to reset things. I got the reset button. Somebody just sent me some hearts. I don't know who it was. Tim, my buddy Tim, first mate Tim's on deck. Good to see you, Tim. How's your everything going? You doing good? So anyway, you're a little late to the show. I am talking about a lot of stuff, but I'm talking about this thing, about the PTSD and the anxiety and all these disorders. And that's the other thing. Here's one thing. When it comes to disorder, okay, you got to remember all these great, powerful people, they got a label. Even Bob Dole that just died, they had a label on him. Everybody's got a label on them. Well, all these famous people, these bipolar, manic depressives and all that stuff, that's not a disability. It's a superpower. It's a horse. It's a wild stallion running through the field. And your job is to get on that horse and ride it. Learn how to ride that horse. Okay? It's not a disability. It's a superpower. And because the people around you are telling you what you are, they have a little tiny box to put you in for their personal use in the society. Yeah, like my neighbor across the street. He's got this idea in his head, this little box he's got me in. But actually, he's got no even ability to conceptualize the size of box he would need to manufacture that would hold me. You see, which goes to your journal. Your development of yourself is based on your foundation of your mother and your father and what they teach you in the home. Those very simple domesticated chores are all basic home business lessons. Washing the dishes, processing it, utilizing the least amount of soap, the least amount of water, doing it as efficiently as possible, doing it as quickly as possible, doing it as satisfactory as possible so that you can do other things. It's all business management, okay? It's all basic small business management. And the thing with medical science, any science, okay, in order to study something very, very big, you have to think very, very small, okay? There's a book that I need you to read. It's called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And within this book, one of the illustrations that the teacher offered was you're trying to figure something out, okay? You're trying to think about something. You're trying to write a story about a building. Well, you got too much into it. You can't figure out, where do I start? There's the town, the building, the guy who bought it, the products they made, all this chemical they dumped in the creek. No. Your journey begins with the very first brick. The brick. It starts with the brick. You talk about the brick. The brick is made of clay. The clay was derived from the soil in said county by so-and-so who had the clay sent to a man who manufactured it into bricks using a little burro, miniature donkeys with little leather saddlebags. He had 4 of them on a turnstile X, and they turned and they walked round and round, while he had the clay bricks in little boxes on the ground, and the donkeys would walk round and round, flattening and compacting, flattening and compacting. You see? So you start, instead of talking about the building, you start with the brick, That's where your adventure begins. You see? Now, move on. Now, your journal is the development of self. Okay? Now, me, as the guy with the building company, okay, I want to use you as my floor sweeper. Yeah, and I only want to pay you to be a floor sweeper. But while you're sweeping floors, I want you to learn how to, do this and do that and do this and do that and do that and do this. Yeah, I want you to learn how to do all my jobs. That I make $100 an hour in the trades. I myself earn just doing woodwork an average, not even on a hard day, I make an average of $100 an hour without breaking a sweat. I could make much more, but I'm not greedy. Okay? Now, it goes with your journal. Your journal is the development of self. Your self is an offspring development of your foundation. Your foundation is your bloodline. Write this down. Your foundation is your bloodline. Okay? Bloodline. Church. Dictatorship within the church. Capitalism. You see, bloodline. Bloodline church. Capitalism church. People dictated to. People work hard to tithe as commanded by the dictation. Turn the other cheek when you're shorted change. God has a better plan for you. You see, well, God's not a man on a throne in heaven behind a pearly gate. God is right here on earth. He's been with you. He's been there, and you didn't even know it. Yeah, that water that when you flush the toilet 15 times, yeah, that was him. The very dog turd in the yard was him or her, it, nature. The grass blade, the yucca plant, the sparrow, all God. The very creek, the babbling brook, the sound of the water splashing on the rocks as it flows. That it only has a dry sense of humor sometime at the end of June. Oh, man, Zack is so special. I don't even know how special I am. Anyway, it's very powerful. Your development of yourself begins with your foundation. You are from a foundation, okay? You're another foundation branch. Yeah, so you have a parent company, and now what you are is you're what do they call it? You're the beginning of a chain. Okay, so your parent company establishes the dictation, which is the teaching and the understanding of what comprises that foundation. I myself, I have a book. I have a company flower, the gladiola. My best friend that gifted me this wonderful, what I'm doing, it's all because of Mr. Dan DeRuyter. He died on the 6th of June in 2006, 6606. Very significant day. The spirits have always been with me. Always. All of these teachings, I was taught all of these things my whole past. That's why I'm not angry. I'm not angry about being molested. I'm not angry about being raped. I'm not angry about wrongly doing a year, 13 months in prison for a mental breakdown. A drunk driving charge I should have never had. Okay? And then all the people that sent me to jail, yeah, they all went to jail too. Yeah, the judge got defamed. Yeah, 13th Circuit Court, Judge Powers. And then Mr. Jarbo was the old prosecutor. He was the guy they gave me for my attorney, my defense. And then him and the new prosecutor, Gomery. Yeah, his name's Gomery. He got busted on a murder for hire bit. Okay? Where's my emancipation for that? Where's my justification? Where's my get that off my record? Well, I'm not mad about that. I'm not angry about any of that. No, you know why? Because I wrote a wonderful book. That was where I made the decision to write my story. Escaping the Despondent Sea. It was in prison. Yeah. And and here's the reason why. Because of my disgust of my fellow man. Because the unpalatable common man. You don't know the loneliness of being in a place with 1,600 men and you can't have a conversation. No one to talk to. Unless you want to speak prisonese with a big bag of D's and everybody's down with the niggas and all this crap and this jailhouse crap. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want that. I don't want that on my vocabulary. I'm not taking that home. I'm not spending time telling my life story, because that's what you do when you get locked up. You tell your life story. Everybody does it. Because all the nosy bastards that have been in there that got no life need something to gossip about on the yard. Yeah. You don't tell nobody nothing. And you never put a picture, if you're in the joint, don't put a picture on the wall, your family. Don't put anything up there. Because they will use those little things that you're proud of. They will take your pride and they will turn it into your pain. You see? And that's what society is doing in the cities. They're taking my pride and trying to turn it into my pain by taking Robert E. Lee statue down. Okay? Regardless of whether or not Robert E. Lee was involved in the war and racism, well, that's not his fault. That's not his fault. He wasn't given a chance. He was swept up like a drop of water in the ocean's current. He's part of the ocean. He couldn't separate himself from the ocean because they were about to crash into the rocks. He fought with valor. He followed his orders. He was dictated to by a higher power. He wasn't the president riding in on a horse as the president of the company, fighting to keep slavery. And it didn't have anything to do about slavery. It wasn't about the slaves. It was about the profit. Okay? Anybody could be a slave. They just found an easy way to target the poor people in Africa, who at the time had no reason to fear anything but maybe the warring village of 3 tribes away. They didn't know nothing. They weren't part of society. They were like the Native Americans, living in a teepee out on the plains. When the horses didn't have anything to eat, they would move on to another spot. They didn't stay in one place too long and pig it all up until nobody could live there, and then move on to the next place and pig it all up until nobody could live there. No, they didn't. And just because they weren't sophisticated, they were capitalized on and enslaved to provide labor to capitalists for banks. Yeah. It just so happened to be that white guy owned the bank, and it was all about color. It's not about color. It has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with race. The ulterior motives of the capitalist may have racial concerns with extinguishing the bloodline, destroying the foundation. Okay? Now, the best way for me to destroy Tim's foundation is to turn his kids against him. You see? Now, Tim doesn't have a family business because I disrupted his kid's idea by telling him how big of a frickin' prick Tim was because I wouldn't let him have a goddamn Nintendo Switch. So now I got the kid rallying with me. Now the kid, see, it's all about strength in numbers. It's psychology, basic psychology. So now the kid's got somebody on his side. He feels like he can argue against the dictation of his parents' teaching. You see? Words, the very words of English language have been manipulated and used in society against us. The very use of certain words, okay? When I was a child, the N word, okay? Well, these black people, a lot of them who are swept up in their angst and swept up in the passion of the arguments, the many big basket full of arguments, they forget it's about the money. It's about money. Okay? The foundation of the church will not be destroyed. The bloodline of the church. Why do you think it was so important to get rid of Jesus? Jesus traveled with 12 apostles because everybody was beating him up. Yeah. He was the one everybody called faggot. So, get back to my secret. Okay? Now, the journal. Bante Namakazi, I see you. I wish people would use real names or something understandable. I hope you're doing good. Happy holidays. If you're a troll, get on with your trolling so that I can put you in your place. Let's not have any delays with the banter. Fire away so I can make examples out of everyone accordingly. Feel free to ask me any question you want. Anybody out there. Anyway, back to the journal thing, the development of self. It all has to do with the establishment of the foundation you're from. If you are an offspring from a weak foundation, weakened in ideas, weakened in understandings, weakened in compassion, weakened in empathy, weakened in humility, weakened in a whole hat full of 50-cent words. I think I've said enough. If you're weakened, if your foundation's weakened, it can be easily destroyed. Which is why there's so many feral people in society. Feral people. People much like me, wild animals. Only their wild animal is wild animal based on the wild animals that come out of the city forest. See, I am of the earth. The city forest is, it's like a video game to me. Waste of time. And it's proven that to me repeatedly. Yes, absolute waste of time. But I know there are many people lost there that want to find a way out. And I'm here to help them. Yes. My attitude and the way I feel is, personally, being a person that is offering you the basket of answers, showing you the way, showing you the light that I have found. My attitude is if you can't accept it and you want to maintain your, if you want to justify and, your obstinance, your refusal to accept my offerings, to even mull over, my attitude is I'd just as soon watch you die. Yeah. I'm watching you die anyway. I am. I'm watching you die. I'm watching you kill your child. I'm watching you sell a drug addict dope. I'm watching you sell a drug addict dope that is the father of your grandchildren or children, your family, your foundation. Weakening your foundation for greed and profit. Yes. And you reject my offerings to reverse that. So my support to the victim is to terminate the relationship entirely. And support that victim and the children of that victim with my support that I offer to the people. And hopefully the little trickle-down idea that Reagan invented, or his people, hopefully it trickles down. Yeah. Because I've fought the biggest of demons. They better come on 2 or 3 at a time, because I'm getting tired of fighting 1 at a time. So the point is it's all about your foundation. You have to understand, once you are separated from your mother and father, It's just like the Hansel and Gretel story. Scott Hughes, is great to see you out there, Scott. Scott, I just want to take my hat off and give a big shout out to Scott Hughes. I met him down in Florida. He's a friend of mine. I've had some psychological problems from the drinking and stuff like that, and I mistreated Scott a little bit. He came up to help me. Scott's got some of his own health issues that he's working on too, but so we both are imperfect. But I just wanted to offer an apology to Scott for being a big dick. I can't help it. I'm well hung. Aha! Anyway, yeah, the foundation. So it's your foundation, and your development of self stems from whatever your father gifted you. You see, he's not your father and your boss. He's your best buddy. Your dad's supposed to be your best buddy. You know, forever. Your dad's your best friend. You know, you're in jail. You got arrested. You could call your fucking dad. Well, Dad ain't gonna bail you out if you ain't buddies. Hell no. You can sit there and rot. You didn't listen to me. Hundreds of times I told you, begged you. Anyway, so your journal. Your journal's a development of yourself. You're furthering your own education by studying what you were frustrated with your parents. You work that out on paper. You know, your lover, your fight you had with somebody at work. You work those details out on paper when you catalog your journal at the end of the day. You're a captain on a ship. It's your log entry. You might not, the ship might get blown up while you're sleeping and you might die. And then the people you work for, your creditor, the bank, is going to want to know what happened to you. What happened to the boat? What happened to all the people? Your supercargo, your cargo. They're going to want to know. For one thing, that's one reason. You know, but so when you go back and you study, it's a progress report, just like these corporations do. See, corporations stole our households from us. They stole our family foundation from us and remanufactured what should be normalized in a household institution. And with the indoctrination of the public schools, all the parents, of course, said, oh my goodness, public school, hell yes. Get the kids out. Well, that was the trick. So here I am relieved that my kids have somewhere else to be for 6 or 7 hours a day. Little do I realize, it doesn't mean my job's over. I'm supposed to be involved with the school to see what they're teaching my boy. He's my buddy. I got to look out for him. I can't have disruptive teachers teaching my child, you see. So with this critical race theory thing, it's biased. First of all, I don't even need to read it and study it. I have no need to. I already know. Yeah, I'm just like you. I already know everything. Whoever you are out there that's obstinate, I'm not talking to you crowd. When I say you, and I'm doing my scolding and shit, I'm talking to the proverbial you. This is very serious. I need intelligent people paying attention. And I trust that a lot of my followers following this long into my show know when I've been doing it well. They know I'm intelligent. So I don't need to ask you, listen. So some people already are. But the thing is this is a dire thing. So your journal, you reflect back on your day you had yesterday while you're having your coffee in the morning, making your business plan, making your list, feed the horses, fix the fence, get the wood, put oil in the mower, check the diesel, you know, all those things. You make a list because you're not just going to remember, especially when the TV's on and the radio's on. See, the development of yourself and who you think you are is derived from your logbook. So if you're keeping a journal and somebody anybody ever say, you think you're better than me? Or who do you think you are? Or any of those questions. When they question your integrity because you don't fit in the fucking box they put you in for their personal use, personal gains, personal needs. Yeah, all you gotta do is whip out your fucking journal and say, that's who I am. You don't need a letter with your address on it to prove you live somewhere. When you go down for services or for assistance or to the doctor's office, they want to make sure you're a citizen or any of that bullshit. You whip out your logbook. Yeah, you whip out your logbook and you show them your entry. You show them your entries from the last 30 days. That's all you need. You don't need a letter from the post office. Okay? Your birth certificate and your logbook are one. You're a statesman. Says right here, on behalf of the state. When you choose the side of the plaintiff, you identify yourself as an enemy of the state. Now, who I think I am is exactly who I've been developing myself to be, because this is my drawing board. This is my pile of books that I've studied. These are my files. And this is my basket of eggs. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, says the guy with no basket of eggs. Or they're trying to force you to buy eggs. You see, Jesus, when he said, I want to teach you to be fishers and fishers of men, he was teaching self-sufficiency. He was teaching people about the dirty tricks, about how, oh yeah, you know why your coin's got flat sides on it? Because the guy that's paying you is chiseling money off of the money he's paying you. He's chiseling it. Every capitalist out there is a chiseler until they prove themselves otherwise. Huntington Bank, Monday morning, you better have coffee made, because we're going to have a meeting. I want to see your logbook and your receipts. Prepare to be boarded. All right, back to class. Anyway, yeah, so this is very serious. Your logbook is the development of self. This is your ongoing song of life. Okay? When you die, your children are going to be searching for your journal. They're going to be digging through the trash, looking for your notebooks, so they could see what your last words were you wrote down, what you were thinking about. When my grandma died, I went to her. I was allowed to dig through the trash when my grandma died. Yeah, grandma that was never allowed to know that we were actually related. Yeah. That I loved to death and loved me to death. And if it hadn't been for that particular grandma, I would be a murderer. If it hadn't been for discovering marijuana at 14, 15, I would definitely be a murderer. Daddy. I told my dad when I was 7 years old I was going to kill him. 7-year-old kid, don't say that. Unless he's a city boy, been watching too much TV. Because he's got bad parents. Self-entitled, leisurely, and dad just, sickening. Help me do this, help me do that. Can you put a 3/8 hose clamp on my fuel line for me? I'm a big tough guy. I drive a semi. Yeah, it's a great big rig with 18 wheels. And I got a Harley Davidson. And I live with my brother because I can't get along with girls. Can you come over? I fix the fuel line. It's right here. You see it? I'm a 56-year grown man. But I can't put a fuel line clamp on a hose. Can you do it for me? And then have the audacity to threaten me. Surrounded by fools and midgets and children. If there was a disaster in this community right now, I'd be the guy there. Doing all the work. Watching a bunch of people coming up. Oh, yeah, well, I can't. Yeah. Don't know how to take care of a woman either. It's what's for dinner. Yeah, she just worked a 12-hour shift. Get busy. You expect her to do it when you get home. People need to start having a little integrity. Develop. You have to become yourself and know who you are. You don't let Joe Contractor down the street hire you onto a job and then mold your mind and prey on you like a like a groom you like predators do. All these capitalists. And this is why inflation is out of control, because there's so many guys between the guy, growing the pot and the guy smoking the pot. There's so many guys handling the pot, nobody can afford it. I've got all the answers. As soon as I find some intelligent men with portfolios, who aren't capitalists. See, that's why Mad Zack can't get any help, because everybody's a greedy capitalist looking for profit. Want to groom me for a job position to make them money. When I'm sitting here with two children's books, two wonderful children's books, yeah, lots and lots of money. When it comes to publishing, all you writers out there, three biggest markets: self-help, porn, children's stories. Those are your three hugest markets: self-help, porn, and children's stories. I'm sitting on all of that. 50,000 people reading my stuff. Got people right now on Twitter when I posted The Fleet, and I'm going to read it to you. Yes, I'm going to share this with you. It's very powerful. It's a logbook entry. Del, it's good to see you out there. Anthony, it's good to see you out there. But I'm gonna read it to you. But yeah, when I posted this particular post, okay, keep in mind nobody's talking to me in 14 years. So all these wannabe writers in little fantasy lands, they're picking through my shit, stealing my material, recreating my stories for their own stuff. Yes, that's what they're doing. No one wants to comment because I'm the teacher and they're plagiarizing me. Yes. Do I care about that? No, because that's what children do. Yeah, they steal from their daddy. I'm your daddy. So, here we go. Posts. Yeah, all you guys out there that didn't have a father, yeah, I'm here for you. All you guys who would love to have a dad to talk to, I'm here for you. I've had guys older than me tell me when I was in my 20s about fathering my children, telling me, I wished I'd have had you for a father. That's like the most sincere thing a man can say to another man, let alone a man younger than him. Okay? That means something. Now, I'm going to share. This is very special. Now, when I write, it's just like when I play music. I'm not a guitar player. I'm not a guitarist. I have a guitar and I enjoy playing it. It's what I do instead of hurting people. It's what I do instead of shattering your cheekbone. I play music. Instead of killing my dad, I became a trombone star. They wanted to send me to Interlaken, but because the capitalists' demands, my mother was never afforded the opportunity to see the value in any of that. And plus her minimizing my existence because of her mistakes in life. I was an accident. You see, I was unwanted. Yeah, so I'm shoving myself down the throats of the world. Yeah, just like I was force-fed, drug out of the, on Christmas Day, drug away from the dinner table with all my relatives, except for that fucking Roxanne bitch, who I'm actually related to. Yeah, I can't wait to see her. Anyway, yeah, so Christmas Day, grabbed me right by the short hairs on the back of my neck, beat me, smacked me around, dragged me out behind a barn, out in the cornfield, 30 yards out so nobody can hear me screaming that loud. Beat me bloody and funnel a glass of milk down my throat. Okay? I ruin all the holidays. Yes, this is called The Fleet. And I just write this out. It just comes out of me. I don't try. When it comes to thoughts, they can be referred to as fleeting. And fleeting thoughts, it's true. but a captain's log's a fire, capturing a fleeting thought or two. Thoughts come in fleets and flit away if you're without a pen. And as a captain, you must always rise to capture all of them. Thoughts come fleeting, and with a fleet, it depends on you. You just never know when and if the next fleet comes to you. It's very good. If I do say so myself, nobody else will. Yes, I have to jack off. Yeah, I don't know. I just wrote that. Anyway, thinking about the nation's thoughts being lost in the winds on heavily scented wheezes of bong hits. The farmers' breakfast where they berated the farmers. Dealing with the publican in need of reprimand, but having to candy coat them. Capturing people with smiles and a song and a dance is good, but only goes on to a few. When you toss in an explicative or a seeming insult, they remember a little longer and they talk a little more. Word of mouth gets the attention going with the gossip of the fools, duped by television conditioning and programming, mental masturbation of various aspects of the ego sold to the sexes. Yes, the babies they created with television. The ones they take the candy from. You have to have a variety of personalities to appeal to the variety of fickle foolishness. Like men who have the sensitivity and maturity level of children that make it impossible to work at all. They refuse to take direction when it's needed. They cannot be scrutinized in the least. Just man enough to sell dope and tote a gun, but not man enough to fall in and accept the authority he's been given. The guy doing the thinking is the one with the game. You got no game. If you had game, your city would be great. Anybody thinks they got game, show me your game. Intellectual property is the beginning of the command of authority and the distribution of power to associates prepared to produce the effort to make the end product. That means taking orders. The man with the ideas is the man giving the orders, not the guy with the money. The guy with the money is the financer. He puts the money on the table when the guy with the ideas giving the orders tells him to. Communities are built on ideas and by the labor of those who believe in the ideas. But growth and ideas are only the birth of people whom are dissatisfied with their poverty and their standard of living. You can only drain the neighbors for so long before the neighbors leave you in your poverty by moving away, far away from you with their ideas, taking their inspiration and their aspirations to a neighborhood where they're welcome and appreciated by grateful people. People who care. Greed and selfishness destroys everything. You put greed and selfishness in anything, and it destroys everything. It destroys the comfort of the relationship. It destroys the integrity of the friendship. It destroys everything. Makes you a chiseler. Yeah. Gardens only produce so much and feed so many. The gardens here are exhausted, and the corporate financial focuses shift to other exploits. People, plants, planets, proposals prosperous for few. Yes, we have been lied to and deceived by those we entrusted for our very security, our retirements, benefits, all suckling the life and blood from us, always eroding away at our families, our foundations. The children are now helpless, cast out into a forest their elders know little of. There are no books to offer navigation, no tools, but my own offerings. And I'm worried. with nowhere to go to be apart from the conflicts, the controversies, the war, the gossip, and with no money and only wares that the programmed society cannot understand to even begin to appreciate. I await the inevitable, but I still hold on to faith and hope in a dream that I can be useful to help lead those who may follow. Fantasy though I know, when my own children practically all ignore me almost entirely. It grieves me very much, and I'm left without the ability to speak. And it's Christmas. Strong enough to get through the holidays without drinking? No, I'm not too worried about it, but it is a concern. The stress always seems to crank up a little higher whenever I try to do something good, anything good. Even though this very well may be my very most difficult year ever for me to end in my whole life. Oh, the horrors I would rather relive than to live right now, seeing what I see and knowing what I know. This demon force against me is going to be brutal, I know. Memories of the supernatural violence make my cheekbones ache just thinking about it. Anticipation, anxious yet calm. I think I can. I think I can. I've always been that little engine that thought it could. If anybody would like some balls for Christmas, I'm giving balls away. Ladies first. Rose Medina, she had a pair. I'm not sure if she kept them returned to me yet. I haven't got the mail yet. She was invited to participate in this show, but you can see she hasn't shown up. And I know she's out there watching secretly from the shadows. I know you can do that without being known. Don't fuck with me, Rose. Don't fuck with me. If you think you're smart, throw yourself on a table and let's work on some topics. Throw a topic out there. Let's see if me and you can come to some understanding that you could foster into this little group of mental midgets that you think you're schooling. Yes, I would love to help. Yeah, provided you can accept my authority. Of myself. Yeah. But I do love to be a punching bag too. So if you'd like to have me on your program and try and figure out various ways to humiliate me and stuff like that to entertain your people, I would love to do that too. Yeah, I love throwing myself under the bus. Yeah, I'm a man. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've shared way too much valuable stuff at one time, but I'm not going to be here forever. You know, and one of the reasons, one of the main focuses on doing these shows is this is my little breadcrumb trail. You know, I'm talking to my children always, first and foremost. This is always about my kids. These are, you know, when I'm dead and gone, this is all they're going to have. Is these videos that I create, download and save. It's all I've got to give them. And the one thing that I have to, you know, accept in order to focus on my work and pursue my career and not be further hampered with unnecessary woes, I have to just admit to myself, you know, Zach, you lost your kids, what, in 97? It's been how many years? 26 years? You lost your kids 26 years ago, Zach? Don't you think it's time to let go? Yeah, it's time to let go. So now, you know, in my mind, you know, I had children, and I was a dandelion, and my flower bloomed, and the little seeds blew off, and I can only hope. So, you know, I had children. Yeah, I had children. I was a father. And now I'm trying to take that what was lost and relive the years that were taken from me by pretending that my little phone is my children. And then that gives me a chance to be dad again. I gotta go.